I just wanted to show you my my wheatgrass I'm fixing to juice. I got a second crop out of this one. This is the second time I'm cutting it. First time I cut it, I let it grow back and it came back, I think maybe a little bit thicker, if not about the same thickness. Anyway, I'm just about 1/3 of the way through and I've already got a nice little pile of grass here. We're gonna go ahead and continue to do that. Hopefully this thing will record like I want it to. And you'll be able to see me doing what I'm doing. Now I don't know what the second harvest tastes like, because the last time I did this was quite a while ago, and the second time it didn't come back quite as thick as this time. This time it's coming back thick and smells really good, so it should taste fairly similar to what it smells like. At least that's my experience. And just to see, I don't know if it will or not, but I'm going to let it go for a third time and see what happens. I mean, if I'm continuing to get harvest off of this, there's no sense in throwing it out. Because it's still producing. And although the wheat berries are not real expensive if you get them at the right place, still, got to be a good steward of the money that you've been blessed with. And these are the fruits of the labor and money that I've been blessed with. But either way, you can tell it's a second harvest because you can see the some of the brown tips on there on the tops. That's just where I cut it the last time, and I cut it down pretty close to about the same height here as what I'm cutting it down right now. So we're going to continue working on this, and then I'll show you my little juicer. And I'll tell you what, I did a good job on buying that one. Thank you, Amazon. They had it on special, and it was exactly what I needed. It was masticating, which is the closest thing to you chewing this stuff up and getting the juices out of it. That's what you do when you chew something and eat it or drink it or whatever. It is you're masticating it. Basically all that means is you're chewing it, breaking it down with your teeth, getting the nutrients out of it, making it into a juice pretty much with the saliva and everything else, and putting it to use. So that's how that works. Anyway, I got it for a good price. The seller was really good about helping me with that, and I jumped on it because I saw the same unit for at least $20, $30 more somewhere else on Amazon by another seller. Needless to say, I'm very happy. Haven't seen it for that price again yet, but if I do, I guarantee I'm going to buy another one just to have a backup if nothing else. And I love my juicer. My juicer is A1 in my book. And you see how I'm cutting this. I'm just kind of grabbing it with my fingers like that, getting a little bunch of it, and then going down below my knuckle and cutting it pulling it out. And I don't know if you can tell this or not on the video, but oops, wrong one. There we go. I'm growing this in coco coir. I got a brick of it and I watered it down to expand it, and I put it in here because I tried it with nothing other than paper towels and stuff like that, because this is what this was designed to use, was paper towels, and you lay it down on there and it grows. And I did that the first time and it worked really good. However, I noticed that some of them started getting like black mold in there and stuff like that, and I don't want that to happen. So that's why I'm using this coco coir. It's actually pretty much mold resistant. And you can see all the network of roots that are on the bottom here. It makes a mat. I mean, literally a mat of roots under there. Good stuff. So this is my second harvest off of this. And I am going to say definitely that I got more off of this second harvest than I did off of the first one. Maybe I just didn't wait long enough to cut the first one, but I was anxious and I love my wheatgrass. So having said that, you can understand why I didn't wait. Yeah, I didn't like cutting this at first because it seemed kind of hard. I didn't know where to start and how to get in there without cutting stuff and having it fall in there and me having to dig it out, but I kind of figured it out fairly quick. And now I'm doing a pretty good job at it. May not be even, but I don't care. And I don't think the wheatgrass cares. Because it's going to do my body good either way. And on this tray, actually, what you need to do, and I think that might be why I got a mold problem the first time, was don't spray it on top like everybody tells you to do. With this kind of tray, I mean, you can, and I did that the first time with the paper, and that's fine and dandy, but it works out better to control the mold if you bottom feed it. And by that, I mean just lift it up, put some water in there, and let them roots just dangle down in that water and soak up as much as they need when they need it. And they're gonna thrive. They're gonna thank you for it. Because when you're missing it on top, a lot of that stays on the surface, and it could start to mold up there because you got a lot of dry seed there, you know, and that moisture there that it's keeping could mold. Either way, that's that. Let's grab our pile here. Excuse the mess in my kitchen. My dad's been in the hospital and haven't had time to clean because I've been over there every day visiting him. This is the juicer that I was talking about, and that's the brand name right there, Alcock or Acock, or I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but anyway, it's a masticating juicer. Very simple, very easy to use. It's a slow masticator. It does the job real slow, but I'm going to grab that wheatgrass, come back, and let me do that real quick, and I'll just set this off to the side where I know it's going to record me using it. If I can get it to stand up on me. Come on, baby. Is that enough? Yeah, that should do it, I think. Yeah, okay. All right. I'm glad I got a better harvest off of this one because that first one wasn't quite as much, and it takes a lot of, it really does take a lot of wheatgrass to make a good juice. I mean, you know, you're only supposed to eat a shot of it, of course, or drink a shot of it. But, and I mix mine with kale or whatever. Right now, I'm just gonna put it by itself, show you how I'm doing it. It's got a button back here, you just push it and it'll turn on in half a second. It's also got a reverse on it, which is good, in case you get anything stuck in there. Now I'll grab it and shove it down in there little by little and let it do its magic. It makes that noise with leafy green stuff. With carrots, you hear a lot of big crunching and stuff like that. It will handle carrots too, which is good because, you know, carrots are kind of hard, and some juicers are picky about what they want to do or what they want to juice. This one's not too picky, to tell you the truth. I put apples, pears, oranges, grapefruit. You know, those oranges and grapefruit, they're not going to be as good in this thing. I mean, you're going to get juice out of them, but you're not going to get all of the juice. And even if you run it 2 or 3 times, you're still, you know, there's still going to be stuff left in the pulp. Whereas with the wheatgrass and the kale and the cilantro, all of those, it pretty much dries them out. You can see what comes out here. There's not very much moisture left in that at all. And what I did as a mistake, and I learned, my learning curve, is I tried to run it through twice, you know, because I like to get my money's worth and be a good steward of what's been given to me. And I wouldn't suggest doing that because it really struggles on that second one. It will get all of the juice out of it, but it struggles too much, and it's probably working that machine too hard. And I would be willing to bet dollars to donuts that this thing's going to break down at least 30 to 40% faster than if I were just to use wheatgrass and stuff like that, and just run it one time. But it is a fantastic juicer. I have not had any problems out of it whatsoever. I love it. It's not very loud except for when it's squeaking with these leaves in there, but and don't force it down either. I mean, I've seen people cram that thing down, and you don't have to do that. It's got a little screw in there, a little worm thing or whatever they call it, and it'll pull it through when it's ready. Good to the last drop here. let it finish there. I let it push as much of that out as you can. There's still going to be a little bit left in there because there's nothing back here to push it forward, you know, as you're going. But sometimes I help it along and see if it will. But this is what you wind up with left over. It's all the fiber and stuff. And I've actually dried it out in the oven and just ate it, you know, put a little salt on it and stuff and ate it like that. It's real dry when you do that, and it's real fibrous. I mean, you're gonna be chewing like a cow. So, but it was something to do, and I wanted to try to make use of everything I could. This one's a little bit more moist, but I think it's because it just got stuck in there and wouldn't come out. But either way, that's how much pulp I got out of all that wheatgrass. This is how much juice I got, which is probably about 2 shots or so. And of course, you can drink it straight like that, or you can add more juice to it, which I think I'm going to put some cilantro in there. And let me get that real quick so you guys can make my cilantro. And I was hoping it wasn't going to go bad or anything, because like I said, I've been back and forth to the hospital with my dad and haven't had too much time to make my juice, and I've been missing it. But it's looking pretty good. I don't see anything getting rotten on it. Let me go ahead and rinse it off real quick and we'll have at her. All right, some good old cilantro. Yeehaw. Turn my machine back on. And you know, when I juice, I try to use stuff that's economical. Kale, I get a whole bunch of it for $1, maybe $1.50, depending on where I go to and how good the quality is. I like to get the organic stuff. And cilantro, well, you know how cheap that is. Well, down here in Texas it is anyway. Shoot, I can get that whole bunch that I showed you right there for less than 30 cents. I got probably 6 bunches like that for $1, I think it was, or a little less than $1. And hell, I could make 6 drinks out of that, you know? I mean, adding it with other stuff. Come on, baby. There we go. Look at all that juice coming out. Good old cilantro. Now, see, this one's coming out a little wetter. I can see that. And I might run that through twice just so you can see. I'm not sure if that one will struggle like the other ones do. I did happen to find some kale, hallelujah, because I like kale in my juice. And this is what I'm talking about. I don't know if you can actually see that, but I got that for 98 cents, and that's quite the bunch of kale. That's a lot of kale right there. Anyway, that's all going in that juicer. Let me just rinse it off real quick. All this stuff is organic, and the place I get it from, they're pretty clean and stuff, but yeah, it's always better to be safe than sorry. You never know what crawled up in there or who's been touching it after they've been picking their nose or whatever. Sorry, it'd be gross, but it's true, and it happens. And I've seen kids with their dirty hands get up in there and just start playing because their parents aren't watching them. So I wash my vegetables. And here's the kale. And you'll see how easy it crunches this up and gets it through there. Does a really good job. I am so pleased with this juicer. I'll tell you what. Thank you, Amazon, and thank you, I forget who sold it to me off of Amazon, but definitely one of the best investments I've made for my health. See, and I put all of this in there, stem and all. You're going to get some good juice out of this. It's going to be a little sweet because of the wheatgrass. And I was telling you that I get, you know, some of the more economical stuff, like cucumbers, you can get them down here anyway. You can get them for $2 for $1, which is pretty good. And cucumber is almost all liquid. And you're not going to get all the liquid out of there. It's going to come out really moist still, but it don't matter. You get enough of it to where it's worthwhile. But you can work it again if you want to. Which is what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to show you how it's going to react to putting this back through there. And we'll be able to see how much more juice we get out of that. Okay, here it comes. There you go. Right there. Look at that. Look at all that juice coming out of there. And then when it comes out, it's going to come out a lot drier. And I save these now. I don't eat them anymore, but I'll save them. And I put them in my compost. And man, I tell you what, you can make some good compost tea out of this. See, I'm helping it along there. And when it's got a big leaf like this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tear part of it off so it'll fit down the chute better. Because it will get stuck in there. And I'd rather not put my machine through that, to tell you the truth. That's one thing you don't want to do. Is overfill this or try to put too much in at the same time. Because you want your juicer to last you as long as it possibly can. Once again, I will run this through there again to show you how much more juice you can get out of this. Don't do it to the wheatgrass, like I said, because that'll come out hard and it's going to get stuck in there, and it clogs up right here, and then it just backs up, and that machine's not going to last you if you keep doing that. But with the kale, you can do it. With the celery, you can do it. With just about anything else, you can do it. The cilantro. All of that you can do it with, but for some reason that doggone wheatgrass, it turns like a brick when you try to put it through the second time. Now you can see, I don't know if you can see that juice dripping out of there, but I'm getting a lot more juice out of that. And then the foam on top there, I'll show it to you in here in a second. That, I use that for compost tea. After I pour this out into my cup that I'm going to drink it out of, I'll use it for my compost tea And I'll show you that in a second here too, after I give you a little tour of my kitchen. Just a little taste of my gardening so you can see what it's all about. But you see, this comes out nice and dry, you know, and fibrous. There's very little juice left in there, but I ran it through twice. And this is what I got off of one bunch of cilantro, one big head of kale or whatever you call it, and then what's the other thing I put in there? Doggone it. Anyway, oh, wheatgrass and all that wheatgrass. So it's pretty good, but this is great for compost. I'm telling you, plants are gonna love you for it. All right, now I'm gonna turn it off. I'm gonna show you something real quick. This thing, I always forget which way, there it goes. See, it has that in there, and that's where it comes out of. It pushes through that hole, but it comes apart fairly easy, and it's really easy to clean. It comes with a little brush, well, it's a big toothbrush is what it looks like to get this clean. And I just use the sprayer and the hand sprayer in the sink and stuff to get that out. Here's the screw that pushes everything through. You see how easy that came off. Of course, this comes right off. This comes right off. Then you push this button here, and this comes right off. And you can clean all of that up real quick. Here's my product. Let me get a glass, and I'm going to show you what I do with that foam. Here's my juice glass. Got it at the dollar store. I'm a big fan of the dollar store. And I pour this beautiful green life into the cup. And it really is. Green is life. And you want to drink this pretty much right after you make it, because it starts oxidizing and losing a lot of the nutrients. See, and I get it down to the drops there, and the foam will stay back, and once I get just that foam left, I keep that. That is what I make my compost tea out of. And let me tell you, that stuff is the bomb. My tomatoes love it. All right. There is my jug that I make my compost tea out of. And pretty much, it's green stuff that I put in there. When I start doing carrots and stuff like that, I usually don't put that juice in there. But you see all this? What I'm going to do is I'm going to add some water to it, and so I can pour it all out, swish it around and pour it all out in there. And this stuff is going to stink. All right. I've gotten used to the smell of it, but after it's been sitting there for a little while, it's going to put up a powerful stink. See, and I just add a little water to it so I can pour it in and get all that green goodness in there. There's a lot of vitamins left over in that foam, and I'm telling you what, my plants, especially my tomatoes, they love it. And if there's still a little bit left in there, I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit more water and swish it in there. I wouldn't recommend putting this straight, full strength into your garden. You're going to add water to it. And then, even with the water that I'm adding here, what I do is I put this cap back on. This is just an empty 2-gallon water jug. And when I put this cap back on, I use the spout to pour it in a pitcher, in about a gallon-sized pitcher. And I will do a 10 count. I'll open this up, I'll pour it out into the pitcher, and I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And however much is in the bottom of that pitcher, that's all that I'm going to put of this stuff in there. And then You see how much I got already. And then that's gonna make a whole bunch of good stuff. And then I fill the rest of the pitcher up with water, and voila, we've got a good garden supplement. Now, and like I said, excuse the mess in my kitchen. I haven't been here in over a week. Well, I have, but I haven't had time to clean everything because I'm just in and out. As soon as I get up in the morning, I go see Dad, and when I get back, I water all my plants in the front, the back, garage, everywhere, in the kitchen. And then by that time, it's time to go to bed. I don't have time to clean anything. This was my microgreens. I already ate those. Those was left over from what I had eaten. That right there is the second crop of the peas. You see them coming up. I already harvested that one time, and they come back up. I'm fixing to eat those tonight. I got some Kratky working on here, and you see the Kratky's working real good. And then I got some coco coir. Got a lot of lettuce in here. A lot of lettuce in my windowsill. And then cilantro, kale. I mean, just right here in my kitchen. I got all of this stuff right here. Some more cilantro, or some more kale, lettuce, kale. Here is my 4-decker wheatgrass sprouter, or whatever you want to call it. Excuse all the K-cups. I'll reuse those. Instead of buying net cups for my hydroponics, I'll reuse those, and I'll cut the bottom off of it and just make a hole for something, and use. I reuse everything. I mean, this was I think a Jello thing, and you see I just made holes in it. I don't like to throw things away if I don't have to. But anyway, you see, I've harvested already once off of each one of these, just like I did that other one. And you can see where some of the tips are brown or whatever. But anyway, let's get back to the juice, because I don't want it to oxidize. And you're gonna have to excuse my looks, because I let my hair grow, and anyway. Here's to life. If it's green, it's good, and it will produce life in you. I promise you that. I hope you enjoy this video much as I did making it, and I really hope you get into juicing, growing your own garden. Matter of fact, let me show you what I got in the backyard here. That greenhouse is full. You can see my strawberries in there. They're gonna start coming out real good. Then I got a bunch of lettuce all over the place. And this is just what I got back here on the table and stuff. Got some beets in there. More lettuce. More lettuce. And there, I don't know if you can see that table back there, but that's full of lettuce. And then my actual garden back there, you can't see it. Oh, that's my moringa tree right there. But I've got from them bags right there to, well, there's a little shiny thing in that corner back over there. That's all my garden space. You can't see it, but anyway, I got kale back there. I got mint. I got squash, all kind of stuff. But that is my first video, and once again, this place is trashed, so don't judge me by that. Y'all have a good day. God bless.